At the simplest level, a carbon footprint is a measure of the size of climate change impacts created by greenhouse gases from human activities. The term references carbon dioxide, which is the most plentiful greenhouse gas. Although it is the most common, carbon dioxide is only one of 6 gases that drive climate change as identified by the IPCC. On a molecule-by-molecule basis, these 5 other gases actually play a stronger role in forcing climate change, but we'll talk more about that later. Our planet has a natural capacity to breathe in and store carbon, primarily in forests and oceans. Our use of resources, like drilling for oil and burning gasoline, exhales that carbon back into the atmosphere. It may take decades to put it back into storage. The term carbon footprint actually stems from an earlier idea called ecological footprint. The idea is that environmental impacts extend well beyond physical boundaries. Humans actually require wide swaths of the planet to obtain resources and discharge pollutants. Imagine the physical footprint of a stadium, and then extend that to game day. Think of all the people coming to the stadium, the cars they drive, the fuel being burned. Think of the lights at the stadium, lighting the field and the scoreboard. These are the sorts of impacts that get measured in a carbon footprint. When it comes to deciding what to include and exclude in carbon footprints for businesses, there are 2 major types of footprints. There are organizational footprints and product footprints, and there are different protocols that apply to each. Even under these protocols, the activities measured in an organizational footprint may vary, but typically include things like on-site fuel use and purchased electricity. When it comes to product carbon footprints, the activities measured may be much more extensive and typically extend all the way back to the beginning of the supply chain. Consumer products companies have even started labeling things like beer and potato chips. Even something we all use every day, like paper, plays a complex role in the carbon cycle. Paper production begins with harvesting a forest to make fiber to produce the paper. A forest today has been storing carbon for decades. The carbon is stored in the wood, the leaves, and even the soil. Interrupting the storage cycle by harvesting the trees immediately releases some of this stored carbon. Later, some of the wood may be burned to assist in the paper-making process, releasing more of the stored carbon into the atmosphere. Some of this stored carbon remains in the paper itself. This carbon will be released when the paper is disposed, either as carbon dioxide during incineration or as methane from a landfill. There's bound to be some confusion around the idea of a carbon footprint. As you can see, there are many variables to be considered. In this series, it's my purpose to act as your guide in such an unfamiliar terrain, to make the complicated ideas simple. I'm Dr. Bob Voss, and this is the Carbon Series.